Good morning and welcome back to the One That Celtic Fans View. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up, share the video with all your Celtic friends. It is game day tomorrow. Yes, the season starts today, but the champions are unfurling the flag and starting the season, which I think is a complete disgrace. It is a disgrace, and that's all because the supercomputer never knew that Kilmarnock were going to be in Europe and that they were going to be playing in Europe on the Thursday. So we have to play this Sunday. But it is what it is, and it'll be a fantastic day. The Green Brigades have done a full stadium tifo, and that's going to be fantastic. An absolute Celtic legend is going to unfurl the flag at Celtic Park. And the manager, let's face it, the manager's back in charge. The manager is back in charge. I watched his interview yesterday. We spoke about it on the live last night. And if you haven't joined us on the live, you should do, because they're really entertaining more than anything. But the manager spoke at length yesterday. It's very rarely that Brendan Rodgers does a 24-minute press conference with Celtic. It's very rarely that they put out a full 24-minute press conference with Celtic. And he was asked a lot of questions, but Celtic this morning have been linked with, well, in the last 24 hours, they have been linked with Owen Beck again. Now, Owen Beck is at the situation with Liverpool where they're actually wanting to sell the player. They want to move the player on, which is fantastic for Celtic because they would like to buy him. But there is other interest from QPR. QPR want to take him on loan. So I think Celtic, but into the mix, coming out of Liverpool, although Celtic are ready in a bid for the 21-year-old defender, it has been suggested that Celtic are getting ready to move for the player. There's other reports coming out of Liverpool, and this one comes out of the Liverpool World.uk, that Liverpool are getting ready to put in a bid for Matt O'Reilly. You can't make it up, can you? And I'm sure there'll be discussions. O'Reilly, and they're going to say that Liverpool have been linked with Celtic midfielder Matt O'Reilly. Brendan Rodgers has suggested that Celtic are willing to allow Matt O'Reilly to depart this summer if the club's valuation is met. Brendan Rodgers did say in his interview yesterday that he's seen players that he's worked with down south selling for 30 million, and he reckons that Matt O'Reilly is just as good as them. So if it's 30 million that Celtic want, a club's going to have to come in with that valuation. I don't think it is 20. I think it's 20 to 25 million plus add-ons, but I think they will go for the higher end. And until a bid comes in for at least 25 million, Matt O'Reilly's going nowhere. And Brendan Rodgers has reiterated the fact again that, look, if a bid doesn't come in that's of the correct number, we're not going to sell him. We're not going to sell him. It's as simple as that. And Matt O'Reilly's still got 12 years left at a professional level, at a good level, Brendan Rodgers says. He says he's still just learning the game. He's still just learning the game and improving. Do you know, one good season doesn't make you a fantastic player. I mean, we've seen that many times. We've seen players that have came to Celtic and they had a great season the year before. One naming a goalkeeper that we brought and spent $4.5 million on. He had a fantastic season before he came to Celtic. He came to Celtic and it was absolute rubbish. And I think that's the fear that Matt O'Reilly might have at the back of his head. But then Matt O'Reilly is a different kettle of fish. Matt O'Reilly is the type of guy who does have a mindset guru in India, and he does like to meditate. A bit like myself, and it's all good meditating because it gets the mind nice and clear and gets you really focused. And that's what I like about Matt O'Reilly. He's not going to jump at the first team that comes along. He's not going to do a grumpy Greek and go, do you know what? He's not going to pump it all over social media. Like, there was a bid came in for me and I really want to go. I don't think he's that type of guy. And I don't think that Matt O'Reilly realistically is up or down if he goes this season or not. I think he understands and he gets on well with the boss, which he himself said last season. You remember the first weeks into last season, he was asked about the difference between the training between Brendan Rodgers and Ange Postecoglou, and his face lit up. The lad's face lit up, and then he started waxing lyrical about Brendan Rodgers compared to Ange Postecoglou on the training pitch. So I think if Matt O'Reilly does stay, we've got a fantastic player, and a lot of us don't, including myself, I don't really want him to go. But with 4 weeks left in the window, Celtic in need of a left back. Liverpool could see that as an opportunity to get Matt O'Reilly, and Owen Beck might be the make weight in between. It could be the fact I don't know how much they value Owen Beck. It can't be 25 million, surely. He's just a young player that's not played many first. Well, he's only played 2 or 3 first team games for Liverpool, so it's not going to be in the region of what Matt O'Reilly might be wanting by Celtic. But if they come in and offer 15 million plus Owen Beck, then that changes the ball completely. That changes everything completely. I still think that would be a low offer because they would then say that Owen Beck must be worth a 10 million player. I think it would take Celtic 20 to 25 million plus Owen Beck. But it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Brendan Rodgers has obviously got unfinished business at Celtic. People saying that he's going to leave. He's not going to leave. Even if he's, I was quite calm after the press conference with Brendan yesterday. I think he calmed. He done his job really well. And his job yesterday was to make sure. Now, people will say he's just a mouthpiece for the board. But as a manager, he's got one thing and one objective, and that's to make sure that we are champions come the end of May. And he wants us to win a treble. He's going to sit down with the players today, and they'll sit down and they'll talk about their plans for the season. You remember Scott Brown alluded to this when he was at Celtic, and he'll sit down and they'll all sit and have a chat about their targets. Now, one concern that came up for me last night is that Kyogo Furuhashi has changed agent this weekend. Well, this week he's changed agent. He now has the same agent as Ange, the same agent that worked behind Celtic's back to take Ange down to. Let's not talk about that. But anyway, and I find that strange. Just a year after signing a deal at Celtic, that they have come in and got he's come in and got a new agent, and I think that is a little bit concerning. To me, it says, yeah, Kyogo's happy at the club, but he will know that he is at the age where he's got one big move left in him financially. He's got one big move left in him for big wages, and ultimately he will want to move. So if Kyogo isn't here next year, don't be too worried about it because I'm sure Celtic will have another striker by then, hopefully to God. As it starts the game this weekend, yes, we do not have another striker to replace Kyogo Furuhashi as we enter the field of play on Sunday. We have one striker, and that's how we will enter the field of play, and that's how we will start our season. You see, the Sunday's game will be all about remembering the players from last season, remembering what they achieved last season, giving them a little nod to what they achieved last season, and then that's it. It puts it to bed. It puts it to bed, and it opens up a brand new season, brand new drama, brand new ups, brand new downs, brand new hates, brand new frowns. Upset about results in the Champions League, thinking they should have done better in the summer window. Those will be cries that will get called between now and the end of January, February. But let's enjoy this season because let's face it, we're Glasgow Celtic. We're champions again. And come May, I hope that we are treble champions. Because let's face it, when we win the league this season, it will take us to their little funny number of 55. We'll surpass the 55 in the seasons after, and we'll be going to become the most dominant team in Scottish football history. And with that being said, just thank God that your mother and father didn't bring you up as a zombie. And on that note, have a fantastic day wherever you are in the world, because there are Celtic fans all around the world.